to my kitchen, where we haven't been in like a really long time. I am so sorry about that. I really miss doing my recipe videos, but they are super time consuming and I've been crazy busy. If you love Girl Scout cookies, or even if you're like my grandpa who says he was a Girl Scout because he liked to scout all the girls, I think you're gonna love this recipe. We are making a low carb, grain-free, thin mint cake. This cake is incredibly moist and decently dense, and it has so much flavor. We're gonna jump right into the recipe because it is quite a lot and it's decently time consuming. So I have my oven preheated to 325 degrees, and we're gonna start with our wet ingredients. So I have 6 eggs here, and I'm gonna put these all into a blender, but feel free to whisk these by hand. Blender is not necessary for this recipe, but it does make your life a little bit easier if you have one readily available to you. Be careful of the shells when you're cracking your eggs. If you get one in there, you're not going to want to celebrate. Now that all of our eggs are in our bowl, I'm going to add a cup of coconut milk. You're free to use any milk that you like. Coconut milk is what I happen to have on hand. Almond milk works also. Going to add 4 tablespoons of coconut oil. I just about eyeball it. Coconut oil is amazing for you. You all probably already know that. And it makes this recipe super light and flaky. And then this is kind of the weird ingredient. This was a cup when it was frozen of spinach, but I thawed it out and pressed it out so that all the water was out. And this is actually what's going to give us our beautiful color in this cake, and you're not gonna be able to taste it, and it'll actually add some nutritional value as well. It's like a win-win. Then I'm going to add a 1/4 teaspoon of peppermint extract and a teaspoon of vanilla extract. And then we're gonna blend up round 1. So now that our wet ingredients are super green and blended, we are going to do our dry ingredients. So start with a bowl, and we're gonna use a 1/2 cup of coconut flour. A 1/2 cup for an entire cake probably doesn't sound like very much, but coconut flour is extremely dense and a little bit goes a long way. Going to add a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, a 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder, which is obviously going to help our cake rise, and 3 tablespoons of Swerve sweetener. Swerve is just a granulated low-carb sweetener, and it is made of a sugar alcohol called erythritol. It's very similar to xylitol. If you prefer to use xylitol, be my guest. You can even use stevia in this recipe, but the erythritol just gives it a little bit of a more mild sweetness. It's not so bitter. I've used a lot of stevia in the past in my recipes, and I'm going to use stevia in the frosting on this cake, but I just wanted to give you guys another option and show that there are other sweetener options, and this is a good one. And then I'm just gonna give my dry ingredients a really quick whisk so I can pop them into the blender with our wet ingredients. I'm just gonna blend this on low until it looks like cake batter. All right, everything's super well incorporated. So I'm just putting this into a springform pan that I sprayed with coconut oil. You can use cupcakes for this, like a cupcake pan. You can use a regular cake pan, but this is gonna be really fun because we're gonna be able to see the layers, and it's going to really look like a thin mint cookie. Make sure you get all your batter out there. You'll see how thick it gets. We're just gonna pop that into the oven for about 50 minutes on 325, and in the meantime, we'll be making our frosting. I managed to scoop out about a cup of coconut oil here. This is going to be the base of our frosting. If your house is a little cooler than mine, you're not gonna be able to scoop it with a spoon. It's gonna be really, really hard, but you can put it in some warm water and let it thaw out of it. To that, we're going to add a 1/4 cup of just baking cocoa powder. I'm also going to add a half of a teaspoon of stevia extract. It's going to be our sweetener. Like I said, if you don't like stevia, if you don't want to use any artificial sweeteners, you're very welcome to use honey or maple syrup here, or you can use more of the Swerve sweetener. And then you just blend those two together. You can put this in a food processor and let it do the work for you, or you could just whisk it up. When it comes to Girl Scouts, they are quite good at taking orders. Maybe that's why they sell so many cookies. This is a really simple frosting recipe that you can use on anything. You can use it for cupcakes, cake, you can even put it on pancakes. It's amazing. It's just my go-to chocolate low-carb frosting. That's what it looks like when it's done, like chocolate frosting. Tastes like chocolate frosting. So I'm just gonna let this sit out until our cake is done, and when it's done, I will be back to show you what it looks like, and then we're gonna let it cool and top it with frosting and enjoy a piece of Thin Mint cake. All right guys, after about 45 minutes in a 325-degree oven, our cake is done and it smells so good. But because it's so hot, I have to let it cool for quite a while before we put our frosting on top, because this stuff will melt if you put it on top of a hot cake. So I'm gonna pop this guy into the fridge. If you have time, it does cool better out on the countertop for an hour or so, but for the sake of getting this video done, this thing's going in the fridge and I'll see you when it's cooled down. So my cake is all cooled off, and now we get to put on the frosting. So with a spatula, scoop out your frosting and just spread an even layer on top of your cooled cake. You really just want to make sure that your cake is cooled down, or else it's going to be a soupy mess because coconut oil melts. Once your frosting's on, you can put it back in the fridge or the freezer, and it'll become a hard layer on top of the cake, and it'll be kind of like a ganache. Or you can serve it as is and it'll be a softer frosting. I'm gonna pop mine back into the fridge for about 15 minutes and let it harden up a little bit. All right guys, so once all of your frosting is set, if you use a spring form, you can just pop it off. And this is the cool thing about a spring form, is you can see the green layer and then you can see the brown layer of frosting. What did the cake that got in a fight say? You want a piece of me? The good news is you don't have to take my word for how delicious this is today, because I have an honorary taste tester. Just kidding. It's minty. It doesn't taste like spinach.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Do you like it?
Yeah, very good. Actually, a Thin Mint.
It does taste just like a Thin Mint. Alright guys, that's all for today. I hope you go make this exquisite low-carb dessert. It's simple but beautiful, and taste tester approved. If you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. If you want to see what I did to my hair, go to my latest vlog video, which I will link right here for you. And I'll see you guys next time. Thanks so much for watching. Bye. What's in my makeup bag video. So I'm kind of gonna do what's my makeup bag / here are the natural beauty products that I use and love. And right as I say that, there goes a shell. If you're doing this responsibly, you'll be cracking eggs into a separate bowl and then putting them into the blender. But if you're like me and you're irresponsible and you dye your hair purple, you might just crack the eggs right into the bowl. Seriously? Excellent. You are free to use any type of milk. Blah. don't get green with envy over this recipe, you can make it too. And stand closer. Okay, done.
I'm done. You out of it now?
No,
Huh?
for just a second. It was his idea to do the mint chocolate, so you have to do it on camera. So let him be the first to try it. Loving you is a piece of cake. What's the left side of a cake? This side does not eat